And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to part 2 of Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My guest is Minister Ime Ilukbe. He is the director, creator, all the above of Future for Felons from right here in Jonesboro. And so thank you for joining us today, Minister Ime.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we up on May 31st, which is tomorrow, actually. Yes. You have the Future for Felons Forum, and this will be held at the First National Bank Community Room.
Right.
And so the topic is mental illness and incarceration.
Yes.
I don't think oftentimes we think about that correlation and how people are mentally and psychologically affected when they're incarcerated, especially for those that, I hate to, okay, I'm not going to go down that. We don't often think about the effects being incarcerated has, so I'm going to let you take part because I'm going to go too far with that.
Right. So, first of all, you have a situation where 50% of our prison population or jail population suffers from some type of mental illness.
50%.
50%. So, 1 in 2. Okay. And so, as opposed to 10% of the general population. Okay. Wow. So 1 in 10 in the general population would, 1 in 2 in the prison population. So it's very prevalent there. And, of course, if you have a felony or if you've been to prison, that's a stigma.
Okay.
Now here come mental illness. That's also another stigma.
Okay.
And so it's an issue that first of all, I'll say 5% of the jails do only have some type of mental health screening. Okay, for people coming in, So it's not something that is really being treated, especially in Arkansas.
Okay.
And so they're just kind of not paying too much attention to it. And so you have inmates who struggle with mental illness, poor health, even substance abuse, which now is being included under that. And we know that, substance abuse and, mental illness, those two, are strong predictors of criminal behavior. People who have addictions more likely to engage in criminal behavior. So too people with mental illnesses. And so, but if what's happening is those who are incarcerated are not getting the proper treatment and the care they need. And we think about things that stress people with mental illness. Overcrowding can be a stressor for people with mental illness. And also isolation. They might be symptomatic or having an episode, and then you just isolate them. These things only make their illness worse. And so tomorrow we're going to be discussing, how can we better care for people with mental illnesses.
Okay.
And I think we have a very good panel on there. Of course, we have Leo Glover, who himself is a mental health professional. We have Robin Kuykendall, who's also, she's an advocate, and she deals with that not so much on the adult level, but on the child level, where, we have kids who are getting in trouble because of some condition they have. Some may not be mental illness, but the bottom line is this child could benefit from some other type of treatment than just expelling them from school or something like that. Of course we have Jimmy Gazaway, who's representative for District 57, and he actually has some legislation that he's working on as it relates to mental illness, and so he's going to talk about that. and I'm excited to hear what he has to say about it.
And then you also have Pastor Steve Bricker from First Baptist Caldwell, Missouri.
Right.
And Fighting to Live Ministry.
Yes, so he actually has a son right now who is incarcerated, who is suffering, who has some mental illness issues.
Okay.
And what's happening is he is not getting the proper care he needs, and so he's just, whenever he has an outbreak or whatever, or is being symptomatic, they just isolate him.
I want to ask about this. In some of the recent school shootings, the narrative was that the suspect had some type of mental illness, and oftentimes many people in their community or family knew about it but didn't get that person the proper care they needed. And so here they are, have committed a crime, and which resulted in life lost. And so of course the communities are, and the nation as a whole, is very emotional and upset about what has transpired. I want to ask this from, because this person may have had a known mental illness mental illness, once they become incarcerated, what has been some of the feedback of individuals concerning that person then getting the care they need? Do they feel that because they committed this horrendous crime, they no longer are deserving of medical care or psychological?
Well, that's a good question, and as I stated earlier, mental illness is a stigma. Okay. So a lot of, it's like having a felony. People are not just wanting to let everybody know, hey, I'm a felon. It's not something that people are upfront with. Yes. So same thing with mental illness. The families are not just wanting to be upfront with, hey, my child suffers from whatever the case may be. Okay. So rather than, be open and get the help needed, they'd rather, I don't want anybody to know that you suffer from that. And so really keep that information, and then here you go with the crime that's committed. So maybe if, how can we be more, open and to, or be more, I guess, merciful or forgiving to where people feel more comfortable to say, hey, I do struggle with this, or I have this problem, but the way it is right now, it's like, oh, I don't want nobody to know about this.
So based on your research and experience, do you feel, I don't know, this is just an educated guess, if more people got the help they needed, if there were more safe spaces available for people, especially men, women commit crimes as well, but we see a lot of these crimes committed by men. And there's, again, this stigma that men are not supposed to be emotional beings. They're supposed to suppress, all of this. And I read an article recently talking about how men are literally dying because they're not expressing, a lot of men are dealing with depression and other issues, and they're not able to express it because people shut them down, knock them down, criticize, ridicule, whatever you want to call it. So, again, back to my original question, do you feel that if there were safer spaces, more welcoming spaces, we can slowly prevent the rise of crime, of some crime?
That's definitely, yes. That's not the only thing, but definitely, yes. To answer your question, yes, we, in that case that you just mentioned with the child, definitely, I think it would have helped there.
One thing I've learned, I used to work with adolescents. Kids don't just act out for no reason. There's a root to their behavior. And oftentimes, like you said, some kids get pushed aside. They get disciplinary actions that are not, they don't fix the issue. Right. And again, kids are not, they may not know how to articulate how they feel and what's really going on. Right. What's happening at home, at school, or whatever the case may be. And it's up to the adults that are in place, the advocates that are supposed to be there for the children, to pay attention and say, okay, this child needs help beyond just being, sent home on suspension for 3 days. There's something else deeper going on.
Right. And so, yes, the parents, the advocates, and the community in general, we need to pay attention to that. It seems as though, kind of like with the adults on the kids level, it seems as though incarceration or some type of punishment is a kind of you know what, I really don't want to deal with this, I'm just going to sweep this under the rug. It's kind of like you have I got a bunch of dirty laundry at home, and at this point in time, I really don't want to take the time to wash it and fold it and put it away. Right now I'm just gonna dump it in this room and close that door. Boom, it's put away. And so I don't have to deal with it because I'm not seeing it, and it's put away.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like that. But the dirty laundry is still there, and it's still, the issue is still there. It's just swept away for now, and you're still gonna have to deal with it later. So it's kind of like that.
Okay. All right. I want to say good morning to Dr. Sharice Jones Branch and Ms. Keandria Borders. Thank you all for checking in. And again, we are discussing the Future for Felons Forum, which is happening tomorrow, May 31st, 2019. And I didn't see the time on here.
Yes, it's at 11:30. It's from 11:30 to 1.
11:30 to 1.
Yes.
And it's at the First National Bank Community Room, which is at 3500 East Johnson Avenue. I mean, you can't miss it. It's the brand new big bank. And once you go in the building, it's to your left. And so lunch will be provided.
Yeah.
But we need you to register. So where can people register?
Well, you just show up.
Just show up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just show up.
All right, so just show up, and your special guest will be Representative Jimmy Gazaway.
Yes, Jimmy Gazaway of District 57.
57. Then you also have Mr. Leo Glover from Families and Keys LPC, as Ms. Ryben Kuykendall, who's an advocate, community advocate, and Pastor Steve Bricker from First Baptist Caldwell, Missouri, and Fighting to Live Ministries in Paragould, Arkansas.
So he's a kind of he has hands-on experience, like he's living the experience right now, as in he has a son with mental illness incarcerated right now, so he has a first-hand experience, and so I just want him to kind of share his experiences there as well.
Okay. All right, so we hope that the community as a whole can come out and discuss this issue. And again, they will be discussing mental illness and incarceration.
Yes.
Now, will you touch on, once someone has been incarcerated and they are still suffering with this mental illness, they're not receiving the treatment, what effect that can have, again, depending on their crime and how much time they've been sentenced, what effect their behavior inside, what effect it has on their behavior while they're inside, and how it can affect their release date and time. Many people, and again, I'm not trying to take up for the criminal, but at the same time, they're still human beings.
Yes.
And I hate to, I don't want to, okay, they're still human beings and deserve some level of decent treatment.
That is the truth. They are human beings, and so they have a dignity. They never lose their dignity. They have a value. I mean, as you know, as a believer, I mean, regardless of what we think about that person, Jesus does love that person, and so, and then again, we have to realize that, listen, we're not any better, I mean, than these people. I know we would like to think that, hey, I'm a better person than them. Look what they did. No. It's the spirit of pride that makes us think that we're better than somebody else. No, we're not. They did that, but you did this. And maybe you didn't get caught, or whatever the case may be. But we all have fallen short of the glory of God. We've all missed the mark, and so nobody can claim to be better than anybody else. And so yes, they do have a value, and they do need some type of treatment. But regardless of what they have done. And so if they are not getting the treatment, then yes, it could delay their release date. It could, because they may commit some more crimes in there, and so making the bad situation worse. And I was reading an article that, because if you look at our prison population, the stereotype is, it's people of color, poor. Okay, and so there seems to be some type of what's the overlapping, mutually reinforcing stigmatizing condition here. You have it's going to be people of color, and they're going to be poor. Those two right there, and so one has to begin to wonder, and which is what the article is talking about. Is this just a way to discriminate against people of color? Is this a new way to discriminate against people of color and make it legal? And so we talked about collateral consequences being used as legal discrimination, and so it's something to definitely look at.
Okay.
It's something definitely to look at.
All right. So again, we would just encourage everyone in the community to come out and join listen to the discussion by the panel members. Now, will there be opportunity for the audience to ask
like a Q&A?
Yes.
Yes. You would have a Q&A session afterwards. Definitely. I know, especially, I'm sure Representative Gaza would probably have a lot of questions thrown at him because of his legislation that he's working on, which should help with a lot of these issues right here. Because as you said, people with mental illnesses, they are people. They are still people, and so they're human beings, and they have a dignity that we must respect.
Okay.
And I don't know why it seems like it's so difficult getting this society to understand that every human being has a dignity, and you don't lose your dignity regardless of whatever you have done. You have a dignity, and I have to respect that. Otherwise, if I don't respect that dignity, then here comes open doors to all kinds of discrimination. And just do whatever against you and call it legal, so that's where we are in society today.
Okay. And I want to ask about Future for Felons.
Yes.
Are you still accepting, I don't want to say membership, or advocates, or people who are willing to work with your organization?
Lobbyists, people who want to lobby, who want to advocate. Yeah, if you if you're really serious about it, yeah, of course, absolutely. And right now, we seem to be just a core few, but it only takes one person to make a difference, and so we're doing what we're doing, and even if it's just the weekly conference calls that we call and keep up with what we're doing. Yeah, you can be a part. You can be a part through the page or whatever the case may be. But if you actually want to be a registered lobbyist, then of course you contact us through the page, and start coming out to the events, start calling in on the conference calls, start doing things like that, and then we'll see, hey, this person is serious. And then
All right, and so I know you have a Facebook page, and you have a website as well.
Yes, and you can get to it through the Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's actually www.tff tiny URL/Future for Felons, just like that.
Okay, so reach out to Minister Ime, and he'll be happy to discuss opportunities for you to work with Future Felons.
And here, what we've been trying to do is get a lot of partnerships working together. So, of course, one that is really good that we just secured was with NAACP.
Okay.
So, of course, moving forward, you probably may see their logo on our flyers, things like that. I have heard about the Poor People's Campaign. I'd like to reach out to them. One of their local members here actually.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Because I want to mention another partner that I see on logo on your thing.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
You're
after
listening
these
to Community
announcements.
Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. The following pieces of money-saving advice are for those still in the planning stages for their wedding. Save on flowers by choosing whatever's in season for your wedding. Also, skip retail florists and shop with wholesalers or even farmers markets in your area and online. Save money by doing a breakfast or lunch reception instead of dinner, or offering a self-serve buffet instead of plated service. You can also save lots of money by limiting or eliminating alcohol at the reception. Finally, don't be afraid to delay the honeymoon until you can pay for it without putting additional financial strain on your new marriage. Check out costofwedding.com for more tools and information to help with budgeting for your wedding. And more important, you and your intended need to talk about how you will handle money before your wedding day and continue that conversation for as long as you're married. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization focused on joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our hearts. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Meineke of Jonesboro is now Starks Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center, offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. Starks Auto Service, 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro, 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdaniellawyers.com.
House of Details, located at 3915 East Highland in Jonesboro, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle: basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, waxing, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more, with the motto of anything mean we can clean. Details at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and at klekfm.org.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
Hello, I'm Officer Victoria Evans. I have always had a desire to help others in need and to be an example and role model to young women by encouraging them to never give up on their dreams. My dream was to become a police officer and to serve my community. In 2016, that dream became a reality, and it is the most rewarding experience of my life. Now I want to let you know about the same opportunity. The Jonesboro Police Department will conduct testing every month for patrol officers. Applications are available online at jonesboropolice.com or at the Police Department, 1001 South Caraway Work. The Jonesboro Police Department offers a competitive salary, health, and retirement benefits, top-of-the-line training, and most importantly, the chance to make a difference in the Jonesboro community. Join me in making Jonesboro a better place. The Jonesboro Police Department is an equal opportunity employer, and women and minorities are especially encouraged to apply. More information is available at 870-935-5657.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with my special guest, Minister Ime Ilukbe. And we wanted to go back over a few of your, not sponsors, but partners in the effort, in your effort to help raise awareness for felons. And so we wanted to definitely mention Men on a Mission, who is listed on the flyer for tomorrow's event.
Yes, Men on a Mission, Kobe Parker. He also has a heart for, re-entry and convicted felons and things like that. And we've been talking, matter of fact, even for more than a year now on, doing things together. And so now that he's he's over the reentry coalition thing, we've had an opportunity to work together, and we'll continue to work together. They reserved this room for us to use because, as you know, Future for Felons is not a 501c3, not because we don't want to be, but because of what we do. There is a conflict of interest. We wouldn't have been able to get it because, one of the requirements for getting the 501c3 is that a large or a substantial part of the organization's activities cannot be geared towards changing or influencing legislation. Okay. And that's exactly what we do.
Okay, because you're a lobbyist group.
Right. And so we lobby and we advocate, and so we're also, we protest. We've done marches. We've done things like that. So these are things that are done in an attempt to influence legislation. So based on that,
that's why you can go the nonprofit.
We had to go the for-profit, a different route. But yeah, so this community room is free for nonprofit. So there goes the partnership. They are nonprofit. They reserve the room. We can use it to do the event. So that's how that works. And,
Okay.
So.
We also want to mention. You've mentioned before the Poor People's Project.
The Poor People's Campaign. Yes, we first heard about them at the awards. Actually, one of their local members mentioned about them and said that a lot of what we're doing is in line with a lot of what they're doing, and that they would like to connect with us. And so I said I'm very interested. I would like to connect with them, especially on this local issue here about the signs in the Cedar Heights area. Okay. I think that's prime time Poor People's Campaign. That's something they can get on board with. They can help and just make sure that those signs do come down.
Okay. And then Ministers for Greater Jonesboro?
Ministers for Better North Jonesboro. Right now, they have agreed to write a letter to the ownership, as just saying, hey, we do not, we're talking almost, 7 pastors
Okay.
At least writing signing a letter saying, hey, we do not approve of this. I mean, so that's we just want to use their influence.
Okay.
See, of course, probably the ownership, I mean, probably still want to keep things the way they are, but at least let them send a letter, or who knows? I mean, it might change their heart. They might be like, hey, you know what? Maybe we need to take these signs down. But either way, just them sending that letter, it means a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So again, if you would like to get more involved with Future for Felons, reach out to Minister Ime. Again, go to tiny URL.
Yeah. Well, you can just go to our Facebook page,
Okay.
Future for Felons.
Go to Facebook.
And from there, you can just click the link to the website, YouTube, Twitter, all of that.
Okay.
So just go to the Facebook page. That'd be the quickest way.
All right, and send them a message if you'd like to get more involved. And again, don't forget about the forum tomorrow.
Yes, at 11:30.
11:30 at the First National Bank Community Room. The topic is mental illness and incarceration.
Yes.
You will have several speakers there on the panel discussing this issue. Ms. Robin Kuykendall, who's a child advocate.
Yeah.
Mr. Leo Glover, who works for mental health care provider.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you have Minister from Paragould.
Yes.
Minister Bricker.
Yeah.
Steve Bricker.
Yeah.
And
Representative Gazaway.
Yes. All right. And so he'll be discussing some legislation he's working on.
Yes.
So hopefully we can get him on the show a little later on once he gets further along with that.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. And so any final words you would like to share with our listeners and viewers?
Just come out there and support the event, and
All right.
That's all I have to say.
All right. So if you'd like to learn again more about Future for Felons, go to their Facebook page. You can see their mission and purpose and other things they have done and other meetings they've held. Because you also try to host regular town hall meetings.
Yes, so we're doing at least once a month.
Okay.
Something, we'll always have something going on at least once a month. So yeah, this month happens to be the forum, and it's happening tomorrow, but we'll have something going on at least once a month.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for
and
having
thank you everyone out there for tuning in and for supporting. You can catch recaps of these videos on our Facebook page, which is KLEK 102.5 FM, or on our YouTube channel, KLEK 102.5 FM. Thank you all for supporting KLEK. We are your community radio station. We cannot do what we do without you. And thank you, Ms. Latonya Rowe, for checking in. All right, I hope everyone has a great and blessed day. Try to stay
Thank you
dry.
for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK.